welcome to the Factor Uncensored. We have a great show planned for you. Thank you for staying up late with us. What are you looking at, man? If this wasn't tragic, it could be a game show. Who are the worst moms of the month? So we have a few here we're going to take a look at. 3 mothers accused of some absolutely heinous crimes. We have a closer look at the cases. First up, there's Sheila Agee. She is charged with first-degree murder. She allegedly helped and planned with her son, Keith Agee, how to shoot and kill Brooklyn Sims. She was Keith's girlfriend and the mother of his child. Keith and his mother, Sheila, believe Brooklyn gave him an STD. Turns out that wasn't even true. Keith was just convicted for murder after shooting and killing his girlfriend in the Home Depot in Florida. It was all caught on camera. His mom in the trial is on trial next after text messages indicated she told him where and when to shoot Brooklyn and make sure he doesn't hit her. The mom, because they both worked at Home Depot. On to mom number 2, Pamela Reed. The Ohio woman was arrested Monday. She's accused of using her 7-year-old daughter in a cancer scam, even shaving the child's head to make her look like a cancer patient. Reed allegedly pocketed thousands in donations after pretending her daughter was sick. And finally, number 3. Mom number 3 is Jessica Jones. She has pleaded guilty to poisoning her 4-year-old with Benadryl. According to reports, she did it to make her child have fake seizures. Joining us to talk about this here on the Factor Uncensored, high school educator Nicole Rochulin, licensed master social worker Joe Hartso, along with parents Lewis Hunter and Stephanie Martinez. Glad to have you here. Let's start with the parents first. Stephanie and Lewis, your thoughts on this? We have contestants number 1, 2, and 3.
I think 2 is the worst. I think 2 is the worst because, and don't get me wrong, all of them are bad, you know. But the first mother, she basically aided her son in murdering the young lady because of an STD. She was angry. The other one is sick, you know, the one that gave her 4-year-old Benadryl. You know, she has a medical problem. The one in the middle, I think her name was Reed. She was pocketing money. You know, she was
shaving heads, making her look like a cancer patient,
having seizures the whole bit just so that she could have get paid. So I think that's the worst, you know, and I think that's about as bad as it gets.
All right, Stephanie, let's hear from you. Who's the worst parent on your list?
I think they're all equally as bad. Horrible, horrible. Some of these people don't deserve to be parents.
Yeah. And I think the last one I was reading, and they knew about her. I mean, she was given, the one that was given Benadryl to her 4-year-old, you know, she was going to the hospital and taking the child into the bathroom and kind of dosing her back up again, and then moments later, you know, she was going to these seizures. You know, so that kind of, you know, that kind of speaks to the illness that this woman had.
And Joe and Nick, before we get to your professional status, who do you think is the worst mom on this list? You're like all of them.
It's like you can't even categorize them because the foolery of it all in the first place, but it's just sickening to know that a mother will aid and abet her child in murder, then the other one will poison one, and then the other one is trying to get killed because don't we know all about Gypsy Rose? So, I mean, it's all a bad situation. They all need
And the judge in the Florida case said, I have never had a case laid out for me where I have motive, I have the text messages, I have the parties involved all right here for me.
But you know what? It's so sad. And being an educator, I do see a lot of times where parents are backing up their kids in their wrongdoing.
Yeah.
And that is the worst part about it.
How mind-boggling is that?
It is.
You could call a parent and say, your child is fighting with me, fighting with everyone, and they're like, what did you do?
Yes, and I've been called, well, that black teacher, or, you know, we all like Cardi B. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, honestly, they just don't hold them accountable, and they will aid and abet them till the wheels fall off, all the way up to the school board. So, I mean, it's just a horrible situation.
And Joe, before we get to your professional opinion, when you take a look at these three parents, who do you consider the worst? And take a look at all of them.
Well, I mean, I agree with the panelists. None of them are cream of the crop. I think they all scare me for different reasons, right? Like, one is misinforming and aiding and abetting in murder. I worry about her and her son and the misinformation. I mean, they thought there was a sexually transmitted infection, but there wasn't. So did they know what a sexually transmitted infection actually is? Did they know how to get help? The second, you know, the mother profiting off her child, I'm scared for everybody around her, if she's got children, if she's got a husband, if she's got a family. I mean, how horrifying is it to watch that unfold? I mean, that is a lifetime movie coming up in the next 3 or 4 years. And then drugging our children to get different diagnosis. You know, that when parents are ill, children are often ill, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. You know, when a parent isn't well, a child struggles to be well too, and that's just
now.
my
What's
experience.
Can't think of the terminology. Munchausen, bipoxy.
Yeah, so that, I mean, it is an illness, a mental illness, wherein the individual is driven to obsession that their child or their ward is sick and making them look sick and trying to garner
But that's
attention.
all for them.
Right.
For all their gratification as an individual who may be a caretaker or a parent as well.
Right, and that's part of what makes it so scary. And just not necessarily scary, but just so devastating for everyone involved, because you've got these people who are clearly very ill, and then what happens to everybody, their child, that child who's been poisoned? What is the long-term effects on them and the seizures and the use of extended over-the-counter medication? What happens to the child who is experiencing these cancer treatments mentally and emotionally as well as physically?
All right. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue this conversation with our parents and our experts in just a moment, and we'll get their expert opinion here on The Factor. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Tonight, we continue to take a look at 3 cases where mothers are accused of committing unthinkable crimes. You're looking at them there, involving their own children. Who is the worst mother of the month? Our guests are back for discussion. Joining us to talk about it, educator Nicole Rochland, licensed master social worker Joe Hartso, along with parents Louis Hunter and Stephanie Martinez. So, Louis and Stephanie, for you both, are parents getting worse, or are we seeing more because of social media and the internet?
I think desperation is handled differently. You know, when you have crises at home, the internet has become a vehicle to make money. You know, and sympathy oftentimes drives the charity in people. You know, so when you've got desperation, you've got a need, and then you've got a vehicle like the internet to kind of push that need to millions of people who are completely out of your circle of influence, and they can help, and they do. Now all of a sudden that becomes a game plan. Another thing I'd like to mention too is like the fathers. You know, there was only one mention out of the articles that I read of a father. Or perhaps he was a stepfather, and he was at home, and he had made mention to, I want to say, their local Children's Protective Services that something might be going on. And they kind of blew him off or whatever investigation they had, and then now this, you know. So I think partly the internet, partly the fact that I didn't see any fathers that were too involved in this.
And Joe, you're nodding your head. Is it a lack of fathers being present in this?
I think it's a collection of factors. I think having a healthy family system, whether that is a father, a stepfather, 2 supportive individuals who are partners. I do agree with the social media. These are clearly people who need a lot of help. I think in general, parenthood is incredibly taxing, and it's hard. of course it's going to bring up things, and everybody could benefit from some sort of help or support that isn't turning to the internet to try and find answers or, you know, comfort.
And Nicole, now let's talk about from your professional position as a teacher educator. What do you see happening here? What's going wrong in our country when parents are doing things like this? And we're talking about the 3 parents we've highlighted tonight.
Well, I think greed is a factor, number one, because all of these people can get a check. The one girl lost her mother, she can get a check for life if he was the surviving parent. The other one can get Social Security, the other one can get Social Security, but I think we're just losing sight of parenthood, period. We need to go back to that old school. We need to be more involved. We need to make sure that we are actually listening to these kids, and these kids actually can go to school and talk about it and tell someone. It is our duty and our obligation to report it, but the follow through, how many are going to actually follow through? How many things are happening when we are reporting and people go out to their homes and nothing has happened? There has not been any intercession that shut it down. So what they do, you know, like they say on social media, and we're teaching out pathos, they play on that empathy role, and people suck that in so much and they believe it. And
I think as connected as we are on the internet, you know, it's made us more connected than we ever have been. We're more isolated individually. You know, we don't have the same village social structures that we had when we were kids, you know, and that wasn't that long ago.
That's true.
Where we had the grandparents and we had the neighbors, you know, we had to interact with people who could pick up on certain cues and perhaps tell someone in your family or in your circle that something might be going on.
Yeah.
And really quick, Joe, your thoughts on why this is happening? Why do we see parents behaving like this in 30 seconds?
Well, I mean, I think we see parents behaving like this, one, because there's just no support anywhere. You called CPS and nothing happened. Well, where was the intervention? So parents need that support, children need that support. Where's the intervention for these parents? Where did they turn to that isn't social media? They're on their own. They get worse, they get worse, they get worse. Nobody's intervening. And then we kind of wonder, well, you know, why was this kid harmed? Well, there's nothing there to support folks.
All right, we want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Great job, guys.